What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of MVP Sports Live right here on either Twitch or YouTube. I am joined, as I always am, with my beautiful co-host, Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
Dave, how you doing? It's Friday, baby. Time to end the week the only way we know how, talking about sports.
Ricky and the Weekend Starters.
Ricky and the... You know, that used to be a radio show I did. Ricky,
I've heard.
Weekend Starter. Yeah. I was the Weekend Starter. Also, the thing that I forgot to do because, you know, I was watching the countdown, I'm like, oh shit, I got to unmute the mics, is the surprise that I told you I had for you was I was gonna open up and be like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Oh. My name is Ricky Wood. Because Jake was saying, because of the countdown music, he's been going back and listening to old fast breaks and saying he misses it. We miss Sean.
It would be a nice touch to go back with the full spiel.
Yeah. We do miss Sean dearly. But we are back.
Oh shit, Retro's here. That's how you know we start late. Retro's here.
When Retro's popping up. But
good to see you, Retro and Eric.
Dave, we got a full docket today. We got football, we got basketball, we got a little bit of interesting college basketball news at the end of the show. Has nothing to do with play on the court. Everything with off the court issues with college basketball. But hashtag off the court. But before we get into everything, let's go through the housekeeping lickety split. 4 things on the docket today, Dave. Number 1 is join the Discord. If you're not in the greatest community in the universe, that is the MVP Discord. Go ahead and join it. Link down below or exclamation Discord into Twitch chat. Get you that link to be in tune with all the great conversations happening each and every day in all the sports that we love to talk about. Number 2, if you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you go ahead and do that. You can also support us by throwing us a sub on Twitch. No matter how you choose to support us, you get rewarded for doing so, whether that's bronze, silver, gold, or platinums. Dave, we still don't have the OnlyFans. We still can't show anybody how great our sponsors are because we don't have that OnlyFans just yet. Also, thank you to our Patreon producer, Pat Hill. Number 3, we're always on Twitch, twitch.tv/MVPvids. We are also on YouTube at MVP Sports. Dave, the 4th thing on the housekeeping today, a thing I just came up with today that I'm running by you for the first time. And you know how Warren Buffett for the tournament does like a win Warren Buffett's money, and he kind of puts his money on the line? Well, for me, I decided something today. So I've been getting into the betting universe, right? The betting sphere. And I think you're on mute, Dave, because I can't hear you at all.
I am.
Dave's like,
I have nothing good to say about this. Go ahead.
But what I am going to do is, because I usually throw $1 parlays down each and every day, Monday through Friday, starting on Monday, I am going to tweet out a 4 to 5 leg parlay where it's basically going to be a thread on Twitter of at least 4 or 5 legs, and it's basically going to be NBA player props, and it's going to be the fans get to vote on which of the 4 in each leg they like the best, and by the end of the show on that said day, I am going to put $1 on whichever parlay they choose, and then therefore I am going to take $1 of my own money, Dave, and if it wins, add it to the MVP pot. So I'm going to be taking my own money, and if anything hits, it becomes money for us here at MVP. I thought of that today. I'm like, fuck it. If it hits, we make some money off of it, and we get the fans kind of involved because, hey, you guys are as good of picking player props than I am because I've only hit one in my time betting, the month that I've been betting so far. So I'm going to try that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, fuck it. We scrap it and we never do it again. But Dave, let's get to the show and everything that we have on it. The first thing is coming from the football universe, and that is not what I wanted. I hate when I go to put things in that it switches to the other thing, but J.J. Watt today, released by the Texans. Dave, before we look into where J.J. Watt can go, I have a question for you, because this is the most interesting thing to me, is how do the Texans go to Deshaun Watson comes up and says, yo, I want to trade. And they go, nah, brah, we cool. J.J. Watt comes up and goes, yo, man, I want my release. And they go, yeah, sure, no problem. We're just going to let you go for nothing. We're going to not even try to get anything for you. We're just going to let you go and not get anything for you. How the hell does that happen?
you want me to be a dick right now?
Go ahead, Dave. If you want to be a dick, go ahead.
If you're asking the question, you're fucking stupid because you don't understand how money works and player value works. I mean, let's be honest here. Deshaun Watson's a franchise quarterback who just signed a long-term deal. So there's no fucking chance they're going to give him up for free. But J.J. Watt's someone who is in the final year of a contract who they will save $17 million by cutting. So it's a pretty fucking simple answer at the end of the day why they cut J.J. Watt and why they did not cut Deshaun Watson.
No, not cut Deshaun Watson. Trade Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Regardless.
Like trade,
there's no difference in my mind.
You'd be getting something back to trade. I just look at it and I go, I get these saving money, but if a team is out there and like, yo, we'll trade for J.J. Watt, it's just funny how
no one wanted to because no one wants to pay $17 million for some player who has been injured every fucking season since the existence of him playing football.
Do we know that for sure? Is that just the media being the media?
No, he was floated around at the same time that Deshaun Watson was unofficially floated around.
Okay.
There was no value because teams already knew that he was going to be cut.
Yeah.
Same way that Jimmy G was going to be cut.
I mean, that was the Texans just shooting themselves in the foot. Like, you never play your hand. You never.
It wasn't the Texans doing it. It was everyone looking at the numbers and going, let's see, J.J. Watt ended the season by basically the apology with Deshaun Watson being like, yeah, sorry, like didn't happen this year, kind of a thing. We all knew he wanted out. We all knew that he was on the final year of a contract, that he was not worth the money to this franchise, a rebuilding franchise at this point. Like, we knew this shit from like week 14.
Okay. Then Dave, where does he go? Since he's a free agent,
Bucks.
Where does he go? You think it's Super Bowl or bust for J.J. Watt?
Sign with the best fucking team in the league. Go ahead and make a super defensive line. Don't play every fucking snap because you don't have to on that team. And win a championship. You deserve it. Like, it makes absolute perfect sense to me that he goes and signs with the Bucks. There's no other team that gives him the same opportunity that the Bucks do.
Okay. Opportunity. I thought you were going to go a different route there. I agree. No other team gives him as high of an opportunity. I think that Jake hit you and I with the stat last night after the show that Tom Brady, it's better odds that Tom Brady makes the Super Bowl than it is for Steph Curry to hit a three. Because it's like 47 to 45%.
I mean, there's a volume difference there. Let's be fair. Steph Curry shot about 18,000 threes.
Yeah.
But, go ahead and take your Super Bowl odds.
For me, I don't know if J.J. Watt is, I don't want to say like, oh, he's not like that, but like there's a part of me that says I don't think J.J. Watt's going to go down to Tampa Bay and
Why
take the
not?
Easy route. I don't know.
Is it the easy route?
Yeah, it would be the easy route. Go to
do
play
players
with Tom
not
Brady.
earn their way on that team?
They do. So they do earn their way, and yet again, fucking J.J. Watt is going to earn his way. It's not like he's basically coming in and being like, hey, I'm gonna take several different videos in one day in different shirts so I don't have to work out during the quarantine.
He's not a shortcut kind of guy. That's not the J.J. Watt we know.
But like for me, I look at it and I go, obviously the favorites got to be the Pittsburgh Steelers in my mind. Family, it's the whole thing of, does J.J. Watt love his family, Dave? Does he want to go play with his brothers in Pittsburgh and try to rule the AFC, or does he want to go get a Super Bowl? The one team I think that...
Rule the AFC.
I think so.
Because who's playing quarterback for you this year?
Dude, Mason Rudolph. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Mason Rudolph going to win them a championship. I'm obviously sarcastic there, Dave. I am obviously sarcastic. Ben's working on a deal. He's working on a new deal.
Yeah, it's because he's not worth $43 million.
No, he's not. But hey, if he comes back on a new deal that you got Big Ben as your quarterback, that's not bad.
Yeah, the guy who literally, got noodle arm by week 13. Looks like a little Drew Brees action out there,
I mean, didn't have a proper bye, Dave. Never got the proper bye this week.
But now we're adding another game to the schedule, Ricky.
Good point.
We got 17 fucking games this year.
Yeah.
There ain't no room for slackers.
Yeah, 17 games on top of that 16. I just think, to me, the Steelers are the favorite because of the brotherly connection. The Tampa Bay...
But Pouncey also retired, too.
Yeah, he did.
So they lost, literally, their best lineman.
Yeah.
And I think Bud Dupree is also a free agent.
He is.
So if you want to come back and be great again, you're going to have to pay some defense guy, break off those guys some. So how much of a discount is J.J. Watt signing on?
See, I don't know if he's taking a discount at all. That's the thing. Like, obviously, money has to work. Like, you can't be like, hey, I'm worth this much, and a team goes, I can't pay you this much.
At this point in J.J. Watt's career, I don't think family's great and all, but he wants to win. And that's a team that it's not a guarantee.
One team I will say, I don't know if J.J. Watt wants to go to. I know he has roots in this state because he played his college ball there, and that's where he's from. But I'm telling you one thing. If I am Aaron Rodgers, Dave, I'm doing two things today. I am first getting on the phone to my fucking front office, and I'm going, get me some goddamn help. I don't care if it's a wide receiver. You give fucking J.J. Watt a call. We fucking need him. I need some kind of help here because I want to win a Super Bowl in Green Bay. Then if I'm A-Raj, I'm calling up J.J. Watt, and I'm saying, yo, bro, what's up? How you doing? Kind of, wine him, dine him, kind of say how much you love him, how much you want to be there, kind of grease the wheels a little bit of how Green Bay is such a great place. That is one team to where I think they are in the least, they are behind the Steelers, behind the Bucks to me, but they are a team that I think has to be the most aggressive for J.J. Watt in my mind, because I think he would help out their defense. He would help out Aaron Rodgers. You get J.J. Watt in the free agency. You get fucking Aaron Rodgers some wide receiver help in the draft. You may be a better team this year, or you can go out and get Ryan Fitzpatrick because that's what the Packers do. They just want to get more quarterbacks. Right?
I was gonna say I did look up J.J. Watt caught 3 passes in 2014. So I mean now it's been a bit. It's been a bit since he's caught a pass. Not to say he can't catch a pass for Aaron Rodgers, but don't really know if that addresses a problem really. And Green Bay notoriously tight with the wallet.
Yeah.
I can't see it happening. I know that. Hey, look, Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays would be legendary if you could tag on a J.J. Watt on the side, but like, it ain't happening. Let's be realistic. That's a front office that is way out of their depth when it comes to getting a top tier free agent like this.
It fucking sucks because like Aaron Rodgers just needs some help, Dave.
He deserves help.
All he needs.
He deserves some help, man.
All the other teams that like I know, like the ESPN article says, like the Titans, the Patriots, the Rams, Bills, and Ravens, like.
Rams would be hilarious. Can I just say that? That'd be
intriguing.
Fucking hilarious.
It's intriguing. That's about it to me, but I don't think it gets done.
Why couldn't it get done?
Because
they will rework every fucking deal on that roster to make money for them. Cap is imaginary, Ricky. That's what we've learned from the Rams.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the contract is.
Yeah, I mean, it would really be J.J. Watt. Like if the Rams are in big contention, to me,
Donald, J.J. Watt.
That
the
means,
fuck are you supposed to do?
That means the Steelers are out. And to me, if the Rams are a high consideration for him, then it's either between Tampa Bay and L.A. I'm hedging my bet.
Great choices. I would choose Tampa Bay. That was my initial choice. Yeah. But I can't say that the L.A. Rams going all in yet again would shock me.
If J.J. Watt went to the Rams, would the Bucks be as much of a favorite to get to the Super Bowl, or would the Rams jump them?
The Rams would scare the fuck out of me if I was Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's old ass having to deal with Donald and Watt. Oh, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that would be a great fucking matchup. I don't know that I would give a favorite to the Rams. We haven't seen Stafford play with them yet, but I would say that gets me very, very interested.
So I am just going to throw this out here. Don't know what week it's going to be, but the Rams and the Bucks do play in LA next season. They play head to head. So that might be a little bit intriguing there. Might be a little intriguing there to see J.J. Watt then go up against Tom Brady potentially twice. Because hey, look at KC. They played the Bucks in the season. They got to the Super Bowl, played against them. One thing off the cuff that's not a thing with J.J. Watt. It's more with the Bucks. You know what was interesting to hear this week? Sean Murphy Bunting on the Pat McAfee show.
Oh, he's great.
Talking about
that cocky SOB.
Dude, first off, the old shirt, a retro to the fucking John Gruden was awesome. But like the thing that was most interesting is how when they asked him like, did it feel like a home game? And he was basically like after the like allure of the Super Bowl, once the fucking whistle blew, he's like, yeah, it felt like a home game. I was like, shit, like we've never fucking seen that before. And it's one of those things where you're just reminded of it and you're just like, oh, that's right. They were technically the home team in that Super Bowl. Yet again, don't know if we're ever going to see that again. Next year's Super Bowl is in, is it LA?
I don't know.
I think it is. Here, I'm going to look it up. 2022. So this year's Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay. Next year's Super Bowl will be Yeah, it's in Inglewood, California. Could you imagine the fucking
Inglewood?
J.J. Watt goes to the Rams the second year in a row? We get the team that hosts the Super Bowl in the Super Bowl.
I would love it. I'd absolutely love it.
But like, really, it's those. Let's say those 4 teams. Those are the only teams, right? I know that some people I've seen have thrown out the Bears, Dave. I think that's a pipe dream. I think that's a pipe dream. I don't think it comes to Chicago. I think
absolutely is a pipe dream. There's no fucking reason he should.
Like, to me, the top 2, like if we're doing tiers, tier 1 is Bucks and Steelers. Tier 2 is Rams and Packers. There is no other tiers. Those are the 4.
I think the Niners would be interesting, as Eric brings up in chat. D'Amico Ryan's connection. Mm-hmm. I think Oakland might
Las
be
Vegas.
Something interesting. You know how much John Gruden always loves pass rushers.
He likes to get them and then trade them.
Could use one of those.
Not like he had one and traded away or anything.
No. Miami was another team actually was floated out there.
Good point. They're a young team.
They're a young team, but a lot of people have them pegged as a team that is trying to make waves and go the distance. Their playoff odds are incredibly high for a team that has as little experience as they do and as many question marks at the quarterback position as they have. So I think it's the 4 teams you mentioned, and then you got to throw in some wild cards because somebody may throw him, a lot of money and an offer, and it's up to JJ. He says he wants to compete and win.
Yeah,
I'm not taking I'm not taking a great contract to play for a shit team. I mean, you go be happy at this point in your career, man.
Really,
be happy. That's what I'm all about.
Your best chances to compete and win are
Tampa Bay,
the Bucks and the Rams. Then the Packers, I would throw in there. If I'm looking at the AFC,
Dewey. You got Dewey on the Steelers, maybe taking over the quarterback job. Dewey Haskins over there,
Dewey.
You said, Duck Hodges. What about Dewey?
You said Dewey at first. I said Mason Rudolph, not
Mason Rudolph. I'm sorry. I got Duck Hodges, the former backup to the backup of the Steelers.
Man. You said Dewey, and at first I'm like, who the fuck is Dewey? And then you said Haskins. I was like, oh shit, Dewey Haskins is over there.
You have Dewey Haskins.
Oh man, like the Steelers to me, it's just it is like what Pat McAfee said today of the how much importance is family. How much importance you put on that. Like the Bills would be interesting. I know people are throwing out KC, but I don't think they're not thinking defense. They're thinking offensive line. They got to reconstruct that offensive line so Patrick Mahomes doesn't get injured.
Yeah.
The Browns would be interesting. I don't think he goes there. I'm just saying it'd be interesting.
Washington football team, same story. Would be interesting.
Miles Garrett and J.J. Watt, Chase Young and J.J. Watt.
I want to pair him with another just top tier talent, and that's why the Bucks makes the most sense, Ricky. I'm telling you, you're trying to go all the way around the league. I started, and we will end with the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers are the best team for him to go to.
Yeah, I'll say.
Could you imagine if somehow Shaq Barrett and Sue still there? And JPP?
Shaq Barrett wants a payday, though. That's the thing.
I know. That's what I said, if.
I'm going to put my money on the Steelers. I think the family's going to ride high. But my 2 and my 3 would be Bucks and Rams because I think the Packers won't do enough to get them. That's the thing.
Damn right they won't.
What about for you? You're saying Bucks, and then who would be the 2 runners up?
Bucks.
Who would be the 2 runners up? The 2 losers?
It doesn't really matter if you're a loser.
Dave's like, it doesn't matter. We only care about winners here.
Exactly.
But Dave, let's move on. Let's talk about some NBA news. Talking right team, wrong card. That one was from one from yesterday. There we go. John Collins trade rumors. Dave it was put out today via Bleacher Report.
They're listening. Is that right? They're listening.
So Bleacher Report has the Atlanta Hawks have reportedly shown a willingness to listen to trade offers for forward John Collins, but the franchise's desire to win in the short term complicates the process. Sam Amick of The Athletic reported Friday that the situation is worth watching ahead of the March 25th NBA trade deadline, but so far it appears unlikely Collins will be moved. The 23-year-old Wake Forest product is off to a strong start in the 2020-21 season. He averaged 18.5, 7.8 rebounds, 1.6 assists, while shooting 55.9% from the field in 24 appearances. Dave, before we look into teams, does John Collins get moved? Yes or no?
The fact that they have not given him that extension screams I don't know what else they're looking for him to prove. Unless it was this whole chemistry thing that may have started up or leaked publicly with him and Trey just a little bit start of the year. Frustration of like, this offense fucking sucks. Like, we get it. You want the ball in your hands. He wants the ball in his hands. Neither one of you will be happy if you don't have the ball in your hands. Yeah, it's very interesting. I think that he is likely to get moved, even though I don't know that's the right move for this team. But I think it's a non-fit, you know? Long term, it's a non-fit to have John Collins on this team. So might be best for both parties. I don't know the value you're going to get back for a guy on the final year of his rookie deal. Obviously, because of that contract being so small right now. Exactly, Eric. Only making $4.2 million. He will be due for a big fucking payday as a 20-10 player with an amazing offensive skill set and an improving defensive effort. Sorry, the slander's fun, but yeah.
So I'm going to throw something out here. And
Kyle Kuzma 7 firsts.
No, not the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers would be a team, but do the Nets get involved? The Nets are a team, Dave, that we've talked about not having enough cap space to get any of the big guys, but if they're not looking past this year, if it's like hey, John Collins would be a nice rental for this team.
Well, they could extend him and just pay $1 billion in fucking taxes.
True, that too. I mean, having to trade for a $4 million contract compared to the $18 million plus that we've been seeing around the league, or the 30 plus if you're looking at guy like
look, Ricky, they're scoring 140 a night. Are you trying to get to 150? Like, is that what your goal is here?
Double the offense. None of the defense, double the offense, Dave.
They're beyond double the offense, Ricky. They're beyond that. They've evolved beyond that strategy. They're at triple the offense. We're looking at world beater offense. Like, there's nothing that can come close to the scoring potency of the Nets outside of perhaps Phillip Rivers' sperm.
Yeah.
Zing.
Phillip Rivers' sperm.
I don't know. That's just a...
I'm just trying to think here. Like, is it a playoff team that gets involved for him? Is it a team that is looking to build? Like, for me, I almost look at it and it's like, do the Pelicans get involved with this? Because they're a team that, yet again, we've thrown Lauri Markkanen out there in the Lonzo stuff. Do they get involved in a John Collins deal to where it's like, hey, we're going to trade John Collins over here or to New Orleans, and then they're just going to re-sign him? And then that's why they're looking to deal Lonzo Ball. And they do not an exact swap for Collins and Lonzo, but we'll send Lonzo somewhere else. Though. We'll pull Collins in.
You know what? The first reaction I thought was, God, no. But then I started thinking about it. And I know that Steven Adams is still an integral piece of this roster. Sorry, I should really turn my mic. I moved angles.
You're good.
I know Steven Adams is integral to this roster and is a great mentor and a big man. And we love our big man. But, like, the flying fucking fridge and Skeletor over there do need some floor spacing. And I think that John Collins as an addition, and that gives you that, like, tweener, like 4-5 combo. So Zion can play the 5, Collins can play the 5, Adams can play the 5. Like, you got 3 guys now who can rotate. I do see Melly being the guy. He's just an odd man out. Like, last year he shot well enough to keep his spot. This year, I don't think he is going to be able to maintain that spot on this roster. Like, he seems kind of just not the perfect fit out there. So I like it. I think Lonzo Ball plus a pick is probably about the right asking price.
Now,
and the Hawks,
you
get Lonzo Ball.
Well, and
someone who can play next to Trey and defend and learn from literally his fucking mentor and Rajon Rondo. Should be his mentor. It's not actually, but like, if you're trying to paint a perfect picture for how Lonzo Ball gets to the next level, it's talking to Rajon Rondo, picking that fucking melon.
So the only thing that is a minor linchpin, and yet again, you can get a third team involved or make it work between two, is because of the contracts, because Lonzo's making $11 million to John Collins' $4 million. The Hawks would still need to add $3.6 million.
Good thing they got 1 billion guys on that fucking team who aren't playing.
Yeah. So, like,
Chris Dunn.
Chris Dunn would work. That'd be 4.7.
I literally went to the bottom of the roster in my mind, and Chris Dunn was there.
Yeah,
I don't know if I should feel bad about that.
That would work.
I know he's been hurt.
Yeah.
So
that would work contractually too. Dunn and Collins for Alonzo.
Yeah.
Would work straight up. I don't know if there's picks involved in that.
Lonzo, the Pelicans would have to include pick.
Okay.
One pick probably. Like I said, restricted first, like Lotto or top 10. Yeah. Maybe this year, maybe next year, because of the Hawks being the Hawks with their contracts. Like they could want a future further down the line to set themselves up contractually to not be in like that, like we got to fucking pay everybody all at once moment. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that would be a win-win. Alonzo's been playing excellently though. So the Pelicans, like, I don't think they're eager to move him at this point as they were in the past, but I still think that John Collins is a massive add and a floor spacer, perfect in theory, next to the flying fridge himself and Zion Williamson. So, yeah. So
the other thing, I ain't gonna do it. I was looking at the Jazz. Like, I'm looking at these playoff teams, right? And it's like, the Sixers have said they've been looking for the exact quote I thought I said was they would be interested in trading for a veteran power forward. I mean, I know that, like, you look at John Collins and he's not like the first thing you think of as veteran, but like
he's not.
Would this intrigue the 76ers? Or is this something to where it's like, no, we want a more proven vet because we're going into a playoff run, and John Collins hasn't had the playoff experience because he's been playing with Atlanta?
I think John Collins would be great on the Sixers. I don't know if the Sixers would be able to get a deal done with the Hawks is reasonable because obviously you have the in-conference level of competition there of like, are we really going to give a 20-10 kid to this team? And again, Sixers don't have the money necessarily. I don't think they would go $1 billion over in cap to re-sign him. So I think that's why they're saying I think that's why they're targeting veteran, because of like just the money doesn't make sense for them to go after John Collins. And I don't think the Hawks would do a deal with them necessarily. That the price wouldn't get done, or they wouldn't meet in the middle, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Lakers and Clippers, they're gonna call. They'll probably
everybody's gonna try to
see.
pick the bones. Yeah.
There's two teams that I think that would be interesting. Yet again, don't think a deal gets done. The first one's the Trailblazers. Reasons why I bring up the Trailblazers is, yet again, getting John Collins on the team doesn't necessarily make them like a finals favorite, but could it become a thing of, hey, we're going to trade for you, we're going to let you play with this team, then like you said, Dave, we don't care about going over, we're going to give you your money, we will go over that cap to keep you, and then Zach Collins, you're gone. Because Zach Collins injured, they would basically let him walk because if I'm not mistaken, he's on the last
same year. They were drafted in the same year. Yeah.
So would that be something that you think about if you're Portland, replacing?
That would be interesting. Yes,
Collins.
I think Portland would love the idea of having like I said, Collins would be a great fit there. Let me clarify: John Collins, would be a great fit there. The scoring's there. It's not like they're ever really short on scoring over there, but giving Dame any semblance of help is always loved. I know Roko's had a rough start to the year. DJJ has also not been there the whole time. So like Hood's coming off of a terrible injury. He's been getting better. I don't know that he's all the way back quite yet, but again, like they've got the semblance of a good playoff group going. So I think if you can add John Collins without giving up too much, I mean, you got to keep Gary Trent, but outside of that, you can have who's the kid out of UNC who we did not like?
Nasir Little.
Yep, you can have Nasir Little. I'm trying to think of the rest of the roster. I'm sorry.
Got Harry Giles, Simons, Mello, Cantor, Collins, Derek Jones Jr., Rodney Hood, Roko, Nurkic, Dame, CJ, and then CJ, Ellerby, and Gary Trent.
That one's going to be the toughest thing about this is trying to find the deal because I think that obviously Gary Trent Jr., it would be like what the Hawks are looking for in return. But I don't think that they can give it up. And Anthony Simons would probably be next up. Again, they don't have any other backup point guards, so they can't make that deal happen unless they got somebody in the G League, which they might. I'm not 100% on. I'd have to go back and check. But
they also don't have their pick this year, the Blazers, so it would have to be the 2022 pick that they're giving up if a pick's involved.
Assuming they have their 2023, otherwise they can't give it up. But yeah, I don't know. They've got futures on futures. But yeah, point being, I think that would fit team-wise. I don't think that there's a value that will match. Unless you think Zach Collins will go back and they'll take a hurt Zach Collins with the hopes of re-signing him to a dirt cheap contract and playing the long game with him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, I
love the idea. You know who I like?
Go ahead.
Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas needs a big they can rely on. KP is teetering on injuries every fucking game. Someone help Luka. This was the highest powered offense in basketball history last year. I know this year they got off to a slow start because both Luka and another player on that team both were like, hey, we couldn't work out because of COVID. So this season, literally, they are just finally getting into like excellent game shape again. But I think they lost Dwight Powell, right? He's injured. He's out for the year after they just re-signed him to a 3-year, like $30 million deal. Or was that last year? My years are all blending, right?
I'm looking it up. I'm fact checking you.
I'm throwing out a lot of names, a lot of numbers. So I appreciate. I appreciate the.
Not seeing anything on a Dwight Powell injury right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that might have been last year for
Dwight Powell. Yeah. So hey, they're all healthy. That's great, but like what crazy?
What are you trying to get for then? If you're the Hawks in this case, because the Mavs don't have futures. They gave most of them up to the Knicks. You would still need the $4 million to move over. Like, what kind of player are you looking for?
Tyrell Terry, Josh Green, and future picks.
Okay. Both of those should work, I think. Yeah, Tyrell Terry and Josh Green work for John Collins. And then just whatever.
Tyrell Terry, first. Josh Green, and then literally it would take like 2 future picks
to get that deal done.
Yep. And then they'd have to pay him. But I think that makes this roster incredible. It's a massive upgrade over Maxey.
Yeah. They're a team I didn't even think of. Because I was thinking a little bit higher, where it's like, yet again, this is a team I always bring up in trade rumors, Dave. Do the Nuggets make a move? Do they make a move? Like, this is a guy too, where you don't have to give up as much as you they don't have to give up as much if they want to fucking move on from Gary Harris. Obviously, you're not including Gary Harris in this deal because then the Hawks would have to give up too much. But, like, they're a team of, yet again, it runs into the thing we talked about before. MPJ's probably not on the board. RJ's not on the board. Ball's not on the board. So it's like a deal probably wouldn't get done. Other than that, like, I don't really see a team that is like, that wouldn't just inquire, because I think everyone's going to inquire.
Yeah. I love the Spurs. LaMarcus Aldridge has been a fucking a downer. He's been a downer this year. If you could go ahead and swap him out for someone with as much explosive offensive talent, that would be insanity. Absolute insanity for that team. I do like the Spurs. I like the Mavs. I think Spurs, Mavs, Pelicans, you brought up. I think that was a really interesting one. I think all of those teams would be very interested in moving forward with a John Collins deal. Though, like you said, in the East, Nets, no. Philadelphia 76ers won't get them because the price will be too high because it's in conference. And then as you scroll down, like
I almost said what Eric said. Warriors. I almost said it only because of the fact of they would be a team that I think used what you said of like, let's trade for him because he's $4 million. Oh wait, let's re-sign him to then go over the cap, and then they'd have a starting lineup of next year: Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Collins, Wiseman, and then Draymond leading. That's not leading ball handler, but like being the veteran presence off the second unit. Because would it be stupid for them to start Collins over Draymond Green? I don't think it would.
Wiseman would eat bench. Let's be honest.
So
From what we've seen so far, Watson would be on the bench.
So Looney would be the starting 5?
No, Draymond.
Okay, Draymond.
John Collins and Draymond would be sharing coverage of the 5.
Still pretty good fucking team there.
Oh, it absolutely bangs, Ricky. It bangs. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know how they make like Kelly Oubre plus picks. Is that if you're giving up the Timberwolves pick, are you feeling good about that?
Yeah, the T-Wolves pick. Because then I'm getting yet again.
But you got to add a whole lot more on the Hawks side because that Kelly Oubre deal is a bit more expensive than
Kelly
$4 million.
Oubre have to be involved? Could it be let's see, a fucking like
Juan Toscano Anderson?
I mean, you could add like
Steph Curry's teammate could be involved.
Steph Curry's teammate. The ones that they have lower on the contract, Eric Paschall, I believe he was with the Hawks though. They wouldn't want him back. Damon Lee, Marquise Chris, Jordan Poole, Brad Wanamaker, Kent Bazemore. Those guys are all under $2.3 million.
None of those guys.
And then
not
Kevon Looney is 4.8.
No fucks given, Ricky.
Yeah, so maybe Kelly Oubre and then get a third team involved, or get a third team involved so the Hawks can send shit to the third team for maybe like a second or two, because like obviously it's not a ton. Like basically it's like $10 million in cash you would have to move. Off of
other pieces would be involved, but I do agree. Like, yes, the Warriors. Again, you're right. Any smart team worth their fucking bread is trying to get John Collins. The only thing I feel bad for here is like the Hawks, who seemingly are in a lose-lose. Like, if they decide to keep John Collins and pay him, people are going to be like, "Man, he doesn't fit your team anymore." Like the way you rebuilt with all these, young shooting wings and these two-way players. Like, how does he fit next to Clint Capella? Da 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 da. And then if you let him walk and he excels somewhere else, look how fucking dumb you are. Yeah. You couldn't make that work. Like you're OKC all over again. You had 3 fucking MVPs on your roster and you couldn't win dick.
Yeah, I feel like this is headed towards a no trade. They match whatever offer. He's going to be a Hawk next year.
He's staying. They'll work it out.
Yeah, we can.
I think their coach is
gone. Maybe Lord Pierce is gone. Last thing I will throw out, because I did work a trade out for it, is Kelly Oubre for Tony Snell and John Collins. Add the picks however you want, going from the Warriors to the Hawks.
Multiple picks.
Would you do that if you were the Hawks? Would you give up John Collins and Tony Snell?
Yeah, Tony Snell, nothing to me. He means literally nothing. He's contract filler. We both say it's
a contract filler. But Dave, let's move on to our favorite segment now. These are the dampest of dudes, the saggiest of shooters, the moistest of men, and sometimes the mistiest of misses. These are our wet boys. What are wet boys? They are our players of the game from the day prior. So from yesterday's games, we're picking the players that we love. How it works is Dave picks a wet boy, I pick a wet boy, and the patrons at patreon.com/MVPvids also get to pick a wet boy as well. Dave, I am loading the wet boys right now because I forgot to do so before the show. So before I kick it to you, I put in the last one. I put it back to us. Dave, without further ado, who's your wet boy for February 12th, 2021?
We got to go with the panic here. Are the Heat in trouble, guys?
Are they?
Are the Heat in trouble?
After we just talked about 2 days ago?
Jimmy Butler's not in trouble. Jimmy Butler's fantastic at basketball. He just passed up Ben Simmons for made 3-pointers in the season. He's on fire. He's unstoppable. He got a triple-double. Wearing the I'm sorry, what was the color scheme that Jake described this as?
Yogurt.
Yogurt.
Sherbet ice cream.
Sherbet ice cream. I've heard like the tricks, mascot, all that fun stuff. Look, when he wants to get it done, sheer willpower, Jimmy Butler cannot be stopped. And that's what's great about him. It's just like, this is mine. I'm winning. I'm going to pass. I'm going to rebound. I'm going to get everything I need to. He still needs to continue to add muscle, but that's Jimmy Butler's going to do that. So, hey, he'll be fine.
For me, I'm picking this because of the fucking color scheme also. I love the blue and pink combination. Plus, I love a pure scorer off the bench, and that's what was happening last night. That we cut from the Bulls, let's be honest. He had a good game. Don't expect this every night. But the Strus was loose last night, Dave. Max Strus did exactly what a scorer off the bench should do. Get only points and only points. A 21-0 game for him. 6 of 9 from the field. And he didn't miss those 3 shots, Dave. He went 5 of 5 from 3.
Yeah, I mean,
he was that good.
This is called Duncan Robinson insurance. This is just in case. We're just going to make sure, hey, in case you want to go get your bag somewhere else, we're getting another guy ready. How much does he cost us? Peanuts.
Yeah. Why is it that you said Duncan Robinson, but my head said, like, the picture in my head was Tyler Hero?
I don't know.
I don't know why. I don't know why that is. And then Dave, the patrons went with a player that I need to kind of rant about first, but it's not a bad rant.
Really?
It is a good rant. This team got screwed last night. There was a game between the 76ers and the Blazers that should have went to overtime, but the refs robbed them. I almost gave the refs a dry dude, Dave. That's how pissed off I was about this. It was a tie game. Ben Simmons played great defense. By the way, that's the wet boy, Ben Simmons. Played great defense on Dame. Had the awareness to, as Dame at 5 seconds was going to make his move, was like, oh, we have a foul to give. I'm going to go ahead and slap you across the back. That's a foul. Yep. You're going to have to take it out again. And on that inbounds pass with 5 seconds left, Melo happened to trip into Tobias Harris as the pass was thrown to him. Tobias did nothing at all, just got tripped into, but got called with the blocking foul, sent Melo to the line. The Blazers basically won the game at the foul line. You never want to fucking see it. But Ben Simmons had himself a game, and Jake was almost right. He saw a triple-double performance, one assist, Dave, from the trip-dub for Ben Simmons.
It's a shame they can't go back review it. Could that be counted as an assist, the post-game corrections?
Yeah, the post-game. Is that an assist? Is that one? But yeah, no, dude, fucking awesome. The only thing, though, Dave, not shooting any threes. He was aggressive, but... not shooting any threes.
Ben Simmons playing aggressive is fun, I will admit. Shitting on him for not shooting threes is great, but like this is the Ben Simmons that we all hoped he would evolve to long ago in his career. But when he can play up tempo, downhill, and them, Joel Embiid, the rest of the fucking shooters on offense, like that's a team right there.
Yeah. And Dave, before we go into our next segment, we have to talk about today's sponsor of the show, and that is Manscaped. If you are sitting there at home going, guys, I need the smoothest balls like Ricky Widmer talks about every single day, how do I do that? You do it with Manscaped, Dave. And today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, as it has been for the last few days. Manscaped is the best in below-the-waist grooming. It offers precision tools for those delicates, the most delicates of family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men. Yeah, it's trusted by only 2 men, Dave. Only 2 men. We're the only 2.
Right here.
Yeah, we're the only 2. No, 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. Dave, I talk about it all the time. Lawnmower 3.0 is amazing. I love it. Use it. Can't get enough of it. The ball deodorant makes your balls smelling and looking as fresh as they can be. So right now, all of our listeners get 20% off and free shipping using the code MVP at manscaped.com. That is 20% off and free shipping. Just use the code MVP when you check out at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. And Dave, one thing that sometimes needs to be trimmed from now and then is a wolf, Dave. You get a pet dog, you gotta sometime trim the hair because that hair gets out of control. T-Wolves don't need much trimming though. These wolves are not real wolves. They are people. And we're talking about the T-Wolves draft, Dave. Don't ask me. Shit comes out of my brain, into my brain, out of my mouth. We just roll with it, Dave.
I know why Pat McAfee says the shit he says. I don't know why you say the shit you said.
I just say it, man.
Your glasses are for real. They're not for hiding something.
My glasses are for real. And I'm not even drinking. I'm drinking like actual bottled water. So I'm not even.
Yeah, I got nothing, Ricky. I got nothing.
Maybe I'm just that stupid. Comment section, don't go off on me. But Dave, we are going into the NBA draft, a segment we used to love to do on the Fast Break, where we take a team, we start at the top, we go all the way through. I don't know how often we're going to do this because obviously we don't want to run out of teams too soon. But the T-Wolves right now, if the season ended today and the lottery basically panned out like it was right now, the T-Wolves would be the number 1 pick. Now, usually how we do this is, if they get number 1, if they get 1, 2, 3, if they get like 4 and 5, and then if they're outside the lot or bottom of the lottery, this one's easy. They can either have number 1, they can either have number 2, or they can have number 3. So we're basically going to go through 3.
And why is that, Ricky?
Because the pick is protected top 3. If it's 4 or lower, it goes to the Warriors because it was traded in the Andrew Wiggins deal. So, Dave, we're going to start number 1 with the Warriors. I think this one, or for the Wolves, this one is the easiest, but number 1, it's Cade Cunningham, right? Like, it's still, if they're at number 1, Cade Cunningham's their guy, and they just pair him next to D'Angelo Russell, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is no brainer. I mean, it's just Cade Cunningham is he's still number 1. Now, are we saying that no one else will be number 1 by the end of the season?
No.
I'm no longer saying that, Ricky.
No, I mean,
I'm no longer saying Cade Cunningham is the guaranteed first overall pick in this draft because there's a phenom coming. There's someone who is lighting it up. You could say he's igniting it up.
Who's the better pick then? Cade, number 1, would it be Cade or JG4?
No, Kuminga.
What?
Yep.
I thought you were talking about JG4.
Nope.
You think Kuminga's going to be the number 1 pick? Yep. All right, then my question changes. In your mind,
I think he could be. I think that's where we're at.
You almost made me spit my water up because I thought you were talking about your boy GG4, Dave. Nope. I had the nickname all lined up for you.
I watched today's game. That's 2 games in a row now. And again, JG4 recovered.
Yeah.
Small sidestep. G League Ignite played a second game today. JG4 Green. He did recover. He shot a little bit better. It's still not a consistent shot. Handles, still not loving it, but more went in. So credit to him. He deserves it. He really took over in the second half of that game.
Kuminga, though.
Jonathan Kuminga. He's a different. He is a different kind of animal, Ricky. He is the scoring wing of the future. He is a 3-level scorer who can ball handle, who can pass, who can play physical defense, and he is raw still. And he's doing this against grown ass fucking men. That's the thing. I can watch what Cade Cunningham is doing in OK State and in college, and it's like, yeah, okay. But watching what Kuminga does, I don't know, Ricky. And something else hits differently.
In case you guys didn't watch today with the G League, Kuminga had 24 points, 4 assists, 6 boards, 2 steals, a block. Went 7 of 15 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, which was way better than his first game. I think he went 0 of 7, 1 of 7.
1 of 7.
In the first game, and then 7 of 10 from the foul line. I'm going to answer my own question, Dave, something I usually don't do. Usually I just kick it off to you. Right now we have...
Well, I did talk a lot there, so you didn't really not.
At number 1 then, like based on Kuminga, like I'm looking at it then of like, what would be a better pick for the Wolves at 1? And if by the draft, if Kuminga is the like guy we're talking about, or even if we're talking about Cade or Kuminga.
Oh, he's also a year younger, by the way.
He's also a year younger than Cade Cunningham. I don't know. I look at this team and I go, okay, you could theoretically put Cade Cunningham next to D'Angelo Russell and be fine. Cade would be your point guard. D'Lo would be your shooting guard. But there's a part of me that goes, last year, what was I basically saying this team needed to get, Dave? It starts with a D. Defense. They were the worst team defensively at the rim. Guess what? They did nothing to help. And Anthony Edwards doesn't help that. They're still, in my mind, one of the worst. Like, them and the Wizards are the teams. So it's like, you need defense. All right, the Wizards kind of got defense with Denny Abdia. Like, Denny's defense better than Anthony Edwards.
Yes, but it's a good thing they didn't only take Anthony Edwards in the draft. Because at the end of the first round, they took the long boy in McDaniels, who is their new starting 4. In my brain. So, he's not starting yet. He will be.
A little bit
He
better.
will be their starting 4 before the end of the year.
Defensively. And like, to me, it's like, with this team, Ricky Rubio's still under contract for 1 more year. I know that Rubio has not looked the same. Yeah, he looks miserable after going there from Phoenix. But like, if I'm the Wolves then, if like Kuminga is in the running for number 1 pick, I would take Kuminga over Cade Cunningham. Only because of like, I know a point, like, to me, the more detrimental need for this team is somebody who can play defense. Like, the Wolves need to do what the Bulls did, Dave. The Bulls went out and got our guy that can not only score but play defense from the wing position. Like, if Kuminga is that good and proves to be that good,
the Wolves potentially still growing.
Yeah, the Wolves at 1 would be stupid for not taking him at 1. They'd be stupid for not taking him. Cade Cunningham would be good, but I would take Kuminga. If I'm looking at
here, I don't know if I'm overthinking the situation because I've watched so much Cade Cunningham in college, and like I said, it's nice, but the level of intensity is not there. He does all the right things, and again, I've made all the excuses for him. His teammates all suck. He would have like 3 more assists if he played on a decent team in college. His defensive effort's not there. He does shoot well, but at the same time, he's also had games where he's just not got it. Yeah. And that's the thing is like, I don't know. There's just there's a pace. There's something else going on. I'm probably overthinking it, and I don't know what I'm gonna decide by the end of the year. But right now, I think I might go Kuminga number 1.
I mean, yet again, you are right.
I slapped the wall to start this episode, and I might go back on it.
You got to slap at the wall. Now, I am gonna say this. Maybe we are overthinking it a little bit because you do think about 1 and 2 from the Ben Simmons year. Ben Simmons went 1, BI went 2. BI had, I'm going to say, a better season in the media's eyes than Ben Simmons did because Ben Simmons was always like he was playing for LSU, who didn't have a better team. Duke went to the Sweet 16 while LSU went to the NIT. It was either the NIT or the CBI. And basically Ben Simmons like, fuck this shit. I ain't playing in this shit, getting myself injured. Which, it
seemed like him all of college, to be fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, yet again, is this going to be the same thing where we look at Cade Cunningham and it's like, oh, he's the inferior product, Kuminga. Now, the thing that Kuminga has that BI didn't, BI was playing in college. Like you said, Kuminga's playing with fucking grown men out there, Dave. Like, that could be the difference of, like, if he is dominating defensively against grown men, yes, G Leaguers, not NBA players still, but
still
G Leaguers are better than college
NCAA
players.
Yeah.
It's not as sloppy. Well, yes, it's sloppy, but college is also sloppy
it's
as well.
It's still better. Like, the level of competition in the G League right now is miles ahead of college basketball, which is miles behind international play already.
Which I will say, I love college basketball. Nothing can
absolutely
stray me
there's
away
something
from
special
it. But
about it.
yeah,
you have to admit the level of competition is higher elsewhere.
No, it is because like it's just you're playing with pros or guys that are fighting for like Jared Jack fighting for an NBA contract.
Yeah,
potentially.
The dude has been in the league for over a decade. He's a grown ass man. He knows more about basketball. He's probably forgotten more about basketball than these kids have ever learned.
Yeah,
like. That's different, when you're playing against other 18-year-old, 19-year-olds, that's great. But when you're playing against a 30-year-old grown-ass man, like, no, good fucking luck. It's a different game.
So does that mean at 2, let's say...
I think 1 or 2, you are in great shape here.
You're either getting Kuminga or Cade.
This year where you're fucking good 1 through 5. But let's, for argument's sake, just say, I do start to wonder... Mobley had another great game. Like, we talked about him being a unicorn. Talked about him being the next best prospect for a big since Anthony Davis. Like, we're talking about someone who has special defensive ability, someone who has instincts, who has the ability to stretch the floor a little bit of ball handling. I mean, the frame is there, Ricky. I don't know how the Wolves could fuck this up. I think that 1 through 3... if they have their pick this year, I don't know that they can miss. Like, and I know we've never had a year where 1, 2, and 3 are all never going to miss.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of a draft out. I mean, like, obviously, you look at the LeBron draft, and if shrug, whatever. 1, 3, 4, 5 all hit. I think we're seeing talent, not on that level per se, but of the same caliber of how close the top talent in this draft will be. I really do believe that it is just so good at the very top.
I'll say though, like the closest we've come to it is the meme draft, the Anthony Bennett draft, because the top 3 wasn't a complete bust because Anthony Bennett was a bust. Yeah. Victor Oladipo was the best pick out of the top 3. Otto Porter wasn't, like, he was the number 2 pick of that top 3, where at the minimum at this point right now, I know he was good in the past, but right now you're getting at least a player that can help your NBA team. If he can fucking stay healthy with that back. Other than that, it's like Cody Zeller, who is still a starter for Charlotte, but on many other teams, would he even be a starter beyond that team? Alex
Ricky,
Len,
I'm thinking maybe like the 2019 where you had Zion, Ja, RJ. Like, okay, you had 3 guys those together where all of them look like they can lead a franchise going forward. And I know it's still very early in their career. Like, that's the kind of top talent that I see here. You know, that's shit. 2016 even. Yeah. Ben Simmons, Ingram, and Jaylen Brown. Yeah. Like, I mean, we didn't see Jaylen Brown being this fucking good.
We questioned it, but
we questioned it. You hated it. You hated us. We apologize.
Here's the thing, and I want to defend ourselves a little bit. We never thought Jaylen Brown was a bad prospect.
Correct.
My big thing was I thought he should have went back to Cal for one more year. That's what I thought, because the way the season ended, and like I wasn't really for sure on him. I thought going back to college, working on games like you, JD said you were actually kind of part right, even though you also hated the pick, was in our draft grades videos, you said that he's going to be a project, which he kind of was. Took him a couple of years to become who he's become, but like, yet again.
I like being called right.
Like, yet again, going back to college and doing that or coming in the pros. Either way, he needed another year to be what maybe we thought a draftee would be. Even though we got memed on that because he's proven us wrong with the fucking Celtics pick being picked at.
But I mean, that's the level of talent that I think we're talking here. Okay. I literally think all 3 of these guys will be franchise caliber leaders. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe leader's not the right term because I don't know if personality wise, if they're all leaders in the locker room and whatever, Ben Simmons gets a lot of crap for being a quiet guy and not the vocal leader of his team because Joel is. But I don't know with these guys. But I do think that talent wise, 1 through 3 between Cade, Kuminga, and Mobley right now, it is special. And that's why I know Minnesota fans don't love to hear this, but you're doing the right thing by sucking so much dick right now this season. You cannot lose out on this draft class
they have to keep
your franchise back immensely. I know we've already seen, hey, how many more top tier picks does this team have to get before they can get out of the fucking basement? But it's a lot. The answer's a lot. They built wrong, and they built wrong for a long time. Yeah, but I like the future.
So I'm going to ask you this question. Let's say they're at 3. And let's say Kuminga and Mobley go off the board 1-2. My question to you is, how would you...
Cade. You run that Cade up.
No. I'm not asking that question. The question I would say is, how would you rate Cade Cunningham's defense overall? Because I've talked before recently about Cade, where the hardest thing for me to judge him is because I hate watching Oklahoma State basketball. I'll be completely honest. And the reason why I hate it is, and I know the watch along, I was kind of memeing him a little bit because I was like Cade Cunningham would come down, get double team, shoot a shot and miss. And I'd be like, well, bust. Don't take him number 1. He ain't number 1. He's a bust, Dave. He ain't number 1 pick. I was doing that all through the fucking Texas game, kind of ragging on Cade a little bit, sarcastically. But for me with Cade, it's hard to judge how good he really is because of everything we talk about, to where his team around him is so bad, to where it's I almost want, you know what I want from Cade Cunningham? I want him to be more aggressive. I want him to be fuck it. I'm just going to put the team on my back.
Russell Westbrook numbers? Yeah. Are we talking Russell Westbrook numbers?
Basically, when Russ was fuck it, I'm the only one here. That's what I want to see out of Cade. That would at least give me that alpha dog mentality. I don't see that. So for me, it's I look at it and I go, am I wrong for doubting him?
There were 15 shot attempts.
Yeah, I mean the eye test though, where it's it's not I want him to go down and basically say, you know what? I am putting this ball in the basket no matter what. I don't see that when I watch him play. And that's why for me it's I don't know if it's because he's on the bad team, and it's the same as like Ben Simmons, to where it's like, well, fuck it, like.
I mean, his turnovers are going to be bad no matter what on this time. I get that, but defensively, I don't know. Like, he's got the body. He absolutely has the body. I think it's more motivation. I've seen him locked in, and I think he plays fantastic defense. I think he'll be an above average defender at the NBA level. But it's just that, like, how long does he need to be locked in on a team that, they are competing every night because they can't blow anyone out. They're not in a situation where it's like, hey, we're the clear favorites. Like, it's not, Gonzaga or fucking Tennessee out there being able to cruise at times. So, like, if he's not playing locked in defense, it becomes very noticeable very quickly. I think that might be something contributing to it. But again, like, this 6'8" wing who can shoot fucking, above average from all three levels, and looks like he will translate excellently to the NBA. He can pass, he can facilitate and pass. It's the same word, Dave. Gets his own boards. Like, yeah, I don't know if there's a hole in the game other than the fact that, like, if you want to question the assist to turnover ratio and look deeper than us being, I don't want to call it lazy, but like just taking the first available. Well, his teammates suck. I've watched enough of his games to know when they miss passes that should convert into catch and shoot opportunities, or that they aren't on the same page because perhaps they don't know the offense as well. Like, shit like that happens. Like, I've chalked up a good deal of his misfortune to that, but he's good. He's very good. I don't think Cade will go 3. I think Cade will go 1 or 2. I think Kuminga will go 1 or 2. I think Mobley is going to be the guy who falls to 3. But everybody's going to be like, I low-key think Mobley will be the next Anthony Davis, and these other two guys are going to be okay. They'll be good, but not great. Like, we've never seen so much top-end talent. So, like, prospects are getting better because they're getting started earlier. And, like, that's the thing from watching the G League that I realized is this G League of 2021, if they were playing, you could take a G League team in 2021, drop them into the NBA in, like, 2002, and they would not be a bottom 5 team. Like, the best G League team this year could probably compete in the middle of the pack in 2002. Like, that's the level of talent is gone up in the last 20 years.
As a Bulls fan, Dave, that was bad basketball for us. So I'll take anything.
Well, we were watching little shit on the floor.
Literal shit stink in front of us.
Baby Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's easy with the T-Wolves. The one thing from the Twitch chat that I want to hit is from Eric, where couple of things. He goes, how many more number 1 picks this team is going to need? Then he said, I am just hoping they lose their number 1 so they would stop being talked about as a dumpster fire, and then Minnesota should just flop their pick to Golden State. Couple of things here. One, you never flop a pick. You never want to lose your pick. And also the other thing of if you're someone out there that thinks how many number 1 picks does this team need? Dave, do you want to know how many number 1 overall picks they've had since 2015?
Karl Anthony Towns was what year?
2015.
Anthony Edwards.
That's it.
That's it. Be it.
That's it. Like, this team also.
That's more than most franchises you look outside of the Cavaliers.
And their picks, by the way, since then. So 2015, first overall, Cat. 2016, 5th overall, Chris Dunn. 7th overall in 2017, Lauri Markkanen. Oh, by the way, those 2 picks, the last 2 I said, got shipped over to the Bulls because they went ahead and got Jimmy Butler. They also had a first-round pick at 20th overall in 2018 that got them Josh Okogie because, oh, guess what? Jimmy Butler made it to the playoffs. Then 2019 was Jarrett Culver at 6. Anthony Edwards number 1 in 2020. So really they haven't had that many number 1 picks.
Was a 3rd overall pick?
Who?
D'Angelo Russell.
Yes. I think it was 2nd.
They did have Wiggins prior, who was the 1st overall pick. Technically the Cavs, but you get the point.
Yeah, I mean, but they traded for those, but technically you're right.
They've had a lot of heavy drafting players on their team. Rubio.
Yeah, D'Lo was 2. He was 2nd overall. Because that was the Embiid draft, right?
No,
No? Okay, I can't remember.
that was the Jaleel.
Jaleel, that's it.
AP.
Like, that's why it's like, yeah, I mean, then technically you could say Wiggins and, like, Wiggins was the number 1 pick, so I guess that kind of falls into it. But, like, the thing that set this team back was trading 2 of their top 10 draft picks for Jimmy Butler in order to make the playoffs. Therefore, they had a top 20 pick and not a top 10. Like, that's what they did. The Tom Thibodeau part of their storyline set them back in reality. We all thought it was going to set. I think it did because
I think their players not giving a fuck about basketball hurt them.
That too. They don't have.
That's why they're not a good team. It's because their best player, their most gifted, perhaps the most gifted offensive center in the last, 20 years, just does not care about basketball as much as he does other things in his life. There's nothing wrong with that, but when your job is to win basketball games, maybe the people who count on you to win basketball games would appreciate it if you concentrate more on basketball. That's all.
I mean, also,
I don't want to pick on Cat. He's had a horrible fucking 12 months.
I mean, you look at it too, where it's like 2015 second round pick, 31 overall, Jetty Osman, traded to Cleveland. Hasn't been doing that bad of late.
He's a good player.
Chris Dunn, better off the T-Wolves. Lauri Markkanen, pretty good fucking player. How would he have looked if he was on Minnesota? I mean, they also traded first round pick this year. They traded Alexei Pokusevsky to the
he's playing like an ass anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
And then they also traded Daniel Cthulhu is how his really name is sound.
Yep,
they traded him to the fucking Clippers. So
it's okay. McDaniels is going to be the starting 4. He's a stud. Great on defense. Great on offense. Going to be great for them long term. But yeah, I think that this is all about landing that 1 through 3 pick. They cannot afford to lose out on that. If Golden State pulls the heist of the century, flips Andrew Wiggins into a great 2-way player, and walks away with a number 4 overall pick this year, the league is fucked. Yeah, it's not fair.
We're going to have to wait and see. We will obviously talk about the Warriors at some point. I don't know how often we're going to do this. Obviously, like I told you, David, we don't want to obviously run out of them. But I wanted to
29 more to go.
These. 29 more to go.
But the top of this draft is locked in for the top 5 at the moment.
Yeah.
We feel fairly confident that it will be a combination of Cade, Kuminga, Mobley, JG4, and Suggs. So we can work within that range.
I'm going to say
we talk about these guys going to these teams.
I'm going to say Suggs is the only one that's not a lock. Really? I think Jalen Johnson or somebody can take his spot.
That's true.
Like a Barnes, a Jalen Johnson. I'm trying to think, maybe a Corey Kispert, maybe his own teammate takes his spot. Because he's he's fucking rising up people's draft boards. Like he's top 10 now. And it's like, holy shit, Corey Kispert, who we had outside the I think top 15.
Like 14.
Did we?
13. Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up really quick.
Yeah, look at our 1.0. We did not have.
I know you were higher on him than me. Maybe I was the one that
shot like 50, 50, 90.
So Corey Kispert,
Desmond Bane's proving if you can shoot really well, you will translate to the NBA. Desmond Bane, congrats on your starting job.
Yeah. So, all right, you had Kispert at. Corey. So I had him at 14 to the Thunder. Yeah. You had him at 23 to the 76ers.
Flip that one. That sucked.
Dave clipped that one. I knew one of us had him outside the top 15. But Dave, very short story to end the show. From college basketball, off the court. I thought this was an interesting kind of snippet. Valparaiso. They've been the Valpo Crusaders since before I can remember. Apparently, they are dropping the Crusader name, mascot, and logos, Dave. ESPN says Valparaiso University announced Thursday that it is dropping the team name Crusaders, the school mascot, and all logos associated with the term that it said has been embraced by hate groups. The decision comes after a decades-long debate that had intensified recently because groups such as the Ku Klux Klan began using the symbols and words. The school's faculty and student senates each passed resolutions calling for the change, and the university's alumni board of directors supported reassessing the appropriateness of the team's name. The Crusaders were a series of bloody religious wars, or the Crusades were a series of bloody religious wars starting in the 11th century between the Christians and the Muslims for years. Valpo's mascot has been helmeted figure in fox armor, fake armor. Dave, this is something where I look at this, and it's not a bash on Valpo for their decision, because obviously if a hate group does anything, you want to get yourself disassociated with that as quickly as possible. Just like David, not that David Duke, wants to get that totally unassisted with his name, even though he just shares a name.
Yeah.
Same thing as what you were going to say?
Doesn't even need to be said.
Okay. Yeah. My only problem with this is that it's the whole... Is it the principle of the matter? Is that the terminology where I'm looking at? Is, to me, it shouldn't... How do I want to phrase this? To me, it's a shame that a school needs to change their mascot that has been their mascot forever just because a hate group decides to use the terminology and use the... Like, I feel like, and yet again, this is me putting a lot of faith in the world right now, which you shouldn't really do right now. But, like, I feel like enough people should have the onus and the intelligence to basically say, all right, they're the Crusaders. They obviously don't align with the Ku Klux Klan. They obviously don't align with the beliefs of this hate group because obviously, I don't know about you, most of the schools that I know that have the Crusader name obviously are a religious institution. And are using it in that sense. So it would be fucking stupid for a religious institution to side with any hate group because that's the foundation of their core is usually not to hate and to accept everybody.
But literally their mascot's named after bloody events where it was a war of religion and hatred and slaughtering people who didn't believe the same thing you did. So, like, you say that, but at the same time, literally, we're talking about the reason why they're named that way.
Yeah, no, I get that. And, like, if that's the reason, that's a different debate. To me, it's that the reason solely is, this hate group started using the term, so now we have to get rid of it. It sucks that it just has to happen. I'm pretty sure the
Klan has been using the phrase crusade for a long time. I think this is just continuing to try to make yourself politically acceptable, correct, whatever you want to call it.
So
like
society is what you're saying. Like
5
years ago, society wasn't calling for it.
Right. Okay. We as people are going, it's pretty fucked up that we're, still glorifying massive wars over people who had different ideologies. Like literally murdering, I don't even know, thousands, millions. I'm pretty sure that hundreds of thousands is fair. Through the three Crusades. Like, it's been a while since history of religion, but I did take that in college. I have no problem with them changing names. Again, like, there's no need to glorify shit like that. And I get that it's been that way for a long time, and we are a country that is still one of the most religious countries in the world, even though that's fading. But, like, I think a lot of people are just like, do I feel like this changes my life? No. But if I'm someone who, was someone who was persecuted by the Crusades, how would I feel attending that school? Not great, I bet. Not great.
I mean, is it, and I'm just throwing this out there, is it the same thing as like we've been seeing with like the Washington football team, the Cleveland baseball team, where now people are calling for like the Atlanta Braves, the Kansas City Chiefs, to change their name? Does this fall into that? Because like for me, it's like
similar shades of gray.
I feel
all of it's not good.
Yeah, I just feel like more people. There are a higher percentage of people that would be closer to the latter, the one that I mentioned, than the basically being the I knew someone that was in the Crusades because we're so far away from it.
No, not in the Crusades, but people of my religion were. Like as a Muslim student growing up, like going to a school that is called the Crusaders, I can imagine that would not feel welcoming. And I know it's a mascot, it's a school symbol, but like at the same time, I don't think there's a downside to changing the name. No, I don't think that you have to hold a fucking name or a mascot above, the principles of what you're trying to do there, which is educate kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole point, this is just the only reason I wanted to bring it up, is I just think it's a fucking crying shame that, yet again, it goes back to the, I agree with you that it's no big deal that they're changing the name. It just goes back to the, how we heard in grade school. It takes one bad apple to ruin it for the entire bunch, to where it's like, if a school wants to name their name this, like, I don't think it's as bad as the ladder that we had, to where it's like, great, because this one group has to be fucking idiots and basically hate millions of people for no fucking good reason. Then it fucking fucks everything, because great, now we're associated with them. To where, what?
Some people would literally just say, point at Christians at that point. Like,
what, for hatred?
Yeah.
Why? We don't hate anybody. It's always it's in our teachings to not hate to hate everyone.
Again, Ricky,
I'm speaking for myself here.
Religion's one of those things where people will use it as a banner for hatred for whatever they feel like. It's not perhaps the teaching itself, but I mean, like, when people talk about, the amount of anti-Muslim stuff that happened in America after 2001, like, literally anyone who is a practicing Muslim felt like they were under attack from their own neighbors, their own people,
and I'll
in
say
the country.
Anybody who hated
to vilify.
Yeah, and I will say anyone who was like that is like,
they're wrong.
The Muslims, they're fucking idiots. Because, like, for me, I can only speak for myself, Dave. Growing up in my religion, it was always taught to basically do as Jesus did. And it's like, Jesus is always depicted as a guy that was a cool guy, man. He didn't hate anybody. He accepted everyone. So, I mean, if you're going to hate somebody just because of the color of their skin, it fucking isn't right, man. You're an idiot. Right? I think we can all agree on that.
The last 300 years?
What?
Talk to the South for the last 300 years?
It's a different
heavily
story
religious area that has very, very, very bad racial issues.
You are right.
Saying that's my point is religion on its own standalone, sure. Yeah. Have it. That's great for you. Doesn't bother me. But because people use it as a banner for themselves in the way they portray their ideals, that's where we get into these problems. And again, because Christianity has been around for so long, there's obviously negatives that have happened under its name. And I think that change the name from Crusaders because of whatever reason you want to is totally fine.
I just also hate it because, do you see that little guy, Dave? You see the little guy? It's a little cool guy. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not talking about anything in the past. I'm just talking about that little guy.
Kind of just looks like they took the Fighting Irish guy and slapped the helmet on him.
They totally did. But Dave, that is going to do it for today. A great Friday edition of MVP Sports Live. Dave and I will be back on Monday to talk about more sports. Make sure to join the Discord if you have not already. Link down below, or !Discord to Twitch chat. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids, or you can throw us a sub on Twitch. Thank you to our Patreon producer, Pat Hill. We're on Twitch every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids. We're on YouTube at MVP Sports. And thank you to today's sponsor of the video, manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping. If you go to manscaped.com, use the code MVP. Remember, your balls will thank you. Dave and I will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
LVPN.